Hello. Welcome to Productions MJC. Well, as you can see what the day is, good old Zach is back at it again. Just put this out 4 or 5 hours ago where he goes in and harasses somebody. And I know the word harass is kind of thrown out there a lot because nobody really understands the definition of what harassment is, as opposed to just instigating trouble, kind of antagonizing people. The legal definition of harassment is, we're going to watch it right now. We're going to watch good old Zach do his thing, and under Florida law, legally harass this a woman. So Florida, what did we got? 784.048, harassment, stalking, definitions and penalties. Okay, so he comes up here. Let's just fast forward a little bit. He goes into the public area of this school board, and later on I'm going to point out some things. Here's the public area. That's it. Just because that door doesn't have a lock doesn't mean it's accessible. This is what's accessible. Later on, the security guard explains that's what's accessible, and that is it. See, a school board district office is not a traditional public forum. The school board meeting area is a traditional public forum when it's used. So, see, this is fine. Here, that is a shut door. If it was open, he opened it up. He breached it. See, think about this. If you have the front door open to your house and somebody walks in, they still have committed breaking and entering. This is breaking and entering. Okay, see this school board member? See this poor lady? This is the lady he's going to harass and harangue. And it is harassment legally defined under that 784.048. It means to engage in a course of conduct directed at a specific person, which causes substantial emotional distress to that person and serves no legitimate purpose. Okay, let's examine those. It's kind of a three-pronged test. It has to be against a specific person. Here's the lady. That's the specific person. He will be harassing later. Not now. He's, asking questions. And she's answering them. She is engaging in a consensual conversation with him. Okay? So she says, just a second, I'm going to shut the door. I'm going to go on. She does her thing. Okay. Now, the course of conduct means, under the law, this is subsection B, a pattern of conduct composed of a series of acts over a period of time, however short that is, which evidences a continuity of purpose. Okay. So, this is, and it says what he's doing is not technically covered under the First Amendment because this is a limited public forum. It is not a traditional public forum. It is a non-traditional public forum. It is a limited public forum. And the public forum is reduced, and we'll see that later. If you want to go watch the video, great. I don't care. But if you watch this, she gets the director out there, and he says, this is the limited public forum. Anything beyond doors, and he tells him anything beyond doors is not open to the public. Now, Zach didn't know that when he went and got this lady the first time, okay? He had no idea. Even though common sense tells you there's a shut door, so it doesn't have to have, the common misconception and misinformation that First Amendment auditors kind of proliferate out there is that you have to have a sign and a lock or else anything goes. It's just wild, wild west. You can go anywhere you want. Common sense says no. And this is where some First Amendment auditors get in trouble because they'd start to believe their own lies. Zach believes his own lies. And unfortunately, he's brought a former chief of police or something like that along with him. Okay? She tells him, Yeah, I'm not going to engage with you. Not, you're not allowed to do this. And she's wrong. The the director comes out and he explains, "Oh no, you can photograph." She thinks you can't photograph anywhere. But the director clarifies the situation, and he does offer correct insight into exactly what it is. It is a limited public forum. It is a non-traditional public forum. School districts aren't open to the public like steps of City Hall or something like that. It steps of City Hall, parks, open areas like that are traditional public forums, sidewalks. He's inside a building now. This is not a traditional public forum. It's called a non-traditional public forum. Okay? So now we understand that. So she's going through, you can't film here, and he's like, oh yes, I can. Now Zach is correct. He can in that area. And the guy will come out later and explain, yeah, you're fine here. And he defines exactly what here is. Here is the open area you can see, and the restrooms are open to the public. So let's just move it on a little bit more. Here he is. There's the guy. Okay, let's wait till he comes out. Now, here he comes out. He's the director of safety and such. And he's like, oh, heck yeah, you can film here. There's no problem. So he gets it right. He does it exactly the way it should be. And he will gesture, Zach says, we've been to City Hall and all this stuff. Okay, but that's a different thing. City Hall is a traditional public forum. And he's like, you want to go down there? He says, no, this is public. This is public. And he points to that door and says, you can't go there. You can't record there. You can't do that. He literally tells him where the public area is. It's everything open. There's the poor chief of police with his camera, blue lie audits. He's almost got it right, but of course he's a cop, so he doesn't have it right. Totally. That is a shut door. And that safety director specifically pointed to the door and says, you can't record there. You no going behind that door. Okay? No going behind that door. Everything else is a walkable open area. But going down that hallway, it's open. And the guy gets it right. Now, we will watch Zach listen to what he tells him to, and he says, you can't go here, you can't do this. The fountain's obviously open to the public. He goes over it, and Zach still doesn't understand, because Zach turns around, even after having received proper, true, and correct information from this man, that here is the open area. Even though it's a non-traditional public forum, it is a limited public forum, and it's limited to this open area, and all doors are not open. So Zach immediately walks over to the place where he told him not to go, opens it up, and that's called breaking and entering in the outside world. And he sees that woman, and now here comes the harassment. And yes, legally defined, it is harassment. Here comes the harassment. He's pushing the button saying, hey, I want to talk to you. He wants to rub it in and say, hey, see, I told you I was right. As humans, we do want to do that. But see, he even points there and he says, that's the public area. That's where I can go. And he knows he's in an area where he's not allowed to go. He's been openly told you're not allowed to go there. So see that call button up on the top on the right? It's kind of even with those hands. He will repeatedly push that damn thing and annoy her. And you can see it. He's out there just stalking her right now under the law, under the Florida definition, 784. She's telling him no. She's telling him, no, get out of this area. You're not allowed to be here. No means no. But does Zach listen? No. He sexually harasses the woman because he wants to prove a point. He wants to rub it in her face. She's not defaming him by saying he's harassing me. She is correct under the legal definition of the law. He is harassing her. Let me go over that again. Harass means to engage in a course of conduct directed at a specific person, which causes substantial emotional distress to that person, serves no legitimate purpose. What? There's no legitimate purpose in rubbing it into her face that she was wrong about videoing out in that other area. She was wrong. There is no, I mean, she puts up barrier after barrier after barrier, and he breaches as many as he can. There's a locked door, but he continues to harass her. Now, there's also something that comes into play. Breach of the peace and disorderly conduct under Florida statute 877.03. Oh yeah, he's guilty of that too. And I'll show you, and it just keeps escalating and gets worse and worse and worse. He is so hell-bent on rubbing it in her face that she got it wrong that he could video out in the main open area, that he has breached a secured area. It was secured by a door. It doesn't have to be secured by a lock. It was secured by a closed door. And he opened that door, breaking and entering, breach, and he comes in and he just wants to keep rubbing it in her face. He's flapping his gums, rubbing it, trying to rub it in, and there's the button. Now there's the breach of the peace. There's the harassment. There's the disorderly conduct. Under Florida law, there is the stalking, because it's directed against a specific person. That's not the first time he pushes that button. Off camera, he pushes it, oh, who knows? I didn't really count. 3, 4, 5 more times. And there's the former chief of police watching him and doesn't really tell him, dude, this is technically disorderly conduct and stalking under the law. He's there stalking her. He's electronically stalking her, which is another part of that Florida statute. But there he is. Like I said, there's that bong bling, there's the call. She has told him no many times, and he's still breaching the peace. And that guy says, knock it off. He finally comes out and he says, stop it. He's been told many times, knock it off. She doesn't want to have anything to do with you. Get away from her. And he's encroaching on her space. He's harassing her legally and technically under the law. I am going to be kind of forwarding this to the prosecuting attorney in that county, because finally the guy has to come and rescue her from good old Zach. He gets her behind another locked door where he can't stand and harass her. But there's good old Zach. She's distraught, and rightfully so, because here's a guy who won't take no for an answer. He won't take a locked door for an answer. He won't take a shut door for an answer. He is so hell-bent on rubbing it into her face that she got it wrong that he could video out in the open area, that he breaks several Florida laws to try to just rub it in her face. This Liberty Troll, this Zach guy, he's a wild cannon. He's a loose cannon. He is an absolute pissant jerk. He goes into post offices, and they have a sign there that says, I think it was Winter Springs or something like that, Florida. He goes into the area, says, occupancy 2 people. Fire marshal puts up those occupancy rules. He just tells the postal employees, and I think it's even the postmaster general himself of that thing, no, I'm not going to obey your law. He openly flaunts the law and then gets upset when people catch him at it. I mean, he needs to be corralled in. He needs to be taken care of. He needs to get what's coming to him under the law. I mean, he's breaking federal law when he goes onto postal property and does this bullcrap. But here, this is the open area. He shows you the open area. That shut door, even though it isn't locked, even though there isn't a sign, he was told specifically by the director, don't go past that door, the locked doors. Don't go past the shut doors. He didn't even say locked doors. I think it's shut doors. He even specifically said, that's not off. You can't record there. You can go down there. You can go to the restrooms and stuff like that. And Zach ignored it just because he wanted to rub it into that lady's face that she was wrong about videoing in the open area. And you know what? He's petty. He's a pissant. He needs to be corralled. He needs to get what's coming to him. And I'm going to do my best to get the county prosecutor to look at this video itself and prefer charges. So hope you enjoy that, Zach. And unfortunately, Mr. Police Officer, former police officer, you kind of do things mostly right, but you're associating with a pissant, a criminal. And, according to the Florida statutes, Zach is committing a crime. An actual criminal act, not a civil act, like sexual harassment in the workplace or something. But he is harassing her. He specifically did it. He didn't do it to anybody else. He specifically did it to her. It was a breach of the peace. It was disorderly conduct under 877.03. It was stalking under 784.048. And, what can I say? Let's get this guy up on charges, please. Everybody have a good one. Oh, holy crap. I really should watch the entire video because I can catch all the illegal acts being performed by these clowns. I was doing my outro and everything, or whatever they say it is. These two fricking clowns go into the break room, the employee break room. They stomp right into the employee break room, and they know it. I mean, the vending machines, the sink, the fridge, these two freaking clowns, they need multiple charges. And here comes the director of safety. He's nice about it. I wish he would have been even worse. I wish he would have stomped down their frickin' throat. I mean, here we go. He tells him flat out, those clowns know it. They know it. They know. Restricted access. They know they shouldn't be there. So the cop immediately, he leaves. Zach, if he was alone, he would have fought it. They walked down that hallway. He already told him only the restrooms are restricted. Don't go beyond the doors. Put up some signs saying it's a restricted area. No, he doesn't have to. It's a shut door. They don't have to physically lock you out to make sure you stay out. You absolute frickin' pig. Boy, am I hot now. He knew. He was told that wasn't an open area. He was told it beforehand. So he just has to push the envelope. He needs to be reined in. So any prosecutor seeing this, he was told that was not an open area. And so he went into that area. Let's get something done. Let's get him up on charges for that. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that. Please like and subscribe. Have a good day. This has been Productions MJC.